All right, well, thank you everyone for coming to our break-off showcase presentation. This is the Robot Running Man, and we just wanted to quickly talk about what our project consisted throughout this year. So right off the bat, I wanted to talk about our company that we got to work with, and actually this was a School of Computing or a faculty-sponsored project, which means that somebody from the School of Computing came up with this idea and turned it into a senior design project, and the person that did this in this case was Dr. Marilyn Wolf. And the project goal was basically that she had an idea to create a fun video game, and then the team was to make that video game. So yeah, Dr. Wolf and fun video game idea. And speaking of Dr. Wolf, she was our executive sponsor for this project. And then, but Dr. Bone was also here in this room. He was also our sponsor as well. He was very helpful throughout the development process. And just to give a quick shout out to our other stakeholders, we had Bill Browning, who was our project manager, and then we had Jeff Falkenberg, that was our tribe lead, and then our industry coach, Steven Slater, who all these three guys were super helpful in guiding us throughout the development process, giving us really good feedback. So we're very thankful to them that they stuck with us. So thank you guys for here in this room. Thank you. And after that, I want to introduce the team. So I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Juan Guzman, and I got the privilege to be the team squad lead. After me is Ryan Schumacher, who was the product manager, and then Reed Lawrence, who's also joining me here with me. He was our development manager. And then we have Brian Belt, Connor Wilson, David Ryan, who's also here with me, and Joe Staller, Monty McConnell, Thomas Vierk, and Victoria Titsworth, who were all developers in the project. So we actually got a really big team because we had a multi-team that some of us focused on the hardware side of the project, and then some of us did the software side of the project. So that's why we had a lot of really cool people. And then we like to go by the Wolf Pack, as you guys can see from our shirts. We got custom shirts. And now I'm going to pass it off to David Ryan to talk about the problem and opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, so like Juan said, we were split into hardware and software. I'll cover hardware really quickly. First, just kind of an overview of the problem that we were going to cover in our senior design, which was we were going to create a video game, a real-life video game, so something with like controllers and robots. And it was based on the 80s movie called The Running Man, which, if you haven't seen it, incredible movie. You definitely should watch it. We all watched it as a team at the beginning, and then Thomas wrote a fantastic report on it. So we've done a lot of research. It starred Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was the theme that we had. Our idea was to have robots that drove around. They were able to blast each other with IR lasers. And yeah, that was essentially what the Running Man, the concept inside Running Man was that there were characters that would be either chasers or runners. And so that's what we were trying to kind of emulate with our design. So exactly how we did that, we ended up with 3 robots. They were all controlled via RC. They all had those IR blasters inside and IR sensors on top. That was how they were hit. That's how we communicated between each other. They were also equipped with Wi-Fi on the inside, so that is how it communicated with the software side of things, where we had a scoreboard and we're able to keep track of points and stuff like that. The RC cars were really fun. They're a tank drive system, so you can turn side to side, drive forwards and backwards, all controlled with that controller. You also have a blaster on there, so that's how you actually shoot the IR sensor. Yeah, they were really fun to make and really fun to drive. I'm going to pass it on to Reed.
Thank you, Dave. So as for our solution that we built on the software side, we made a web application that can either be hosted on a server or can be compiled to run locally as an Electron app. It allows the controllers to look both at the game rules, an explanation of the game controllers, as well as seeing the current state of the game in real time. It also acts as the main user-facing portion of our software. But if we go on to the next slide. We also built what we call the Battlefield Control Module, or BFCM, and a database. The Battlefield Control Module acts as an API that allows the robots to communicate with the web app and the database, and both the database and the web app to communicate back with the robots. Along with this, the game is persisted into a SQLite database, which can be stored locally on nearly any machine. This was to deal with our vision of being able to allow others to take on this project and build it up as they see, without needing to have expensive servers or specialized equipment to be able to make this themselves. So for some of the value that we've added to some of the highlights that we've taken away from this, we were able to make 3 customized RC cars, an interactive web application, and a fun game where both hardware and software were meshed together. And some of our highlights from this, we were able to make those RC cars from scratch. They have a lot of various hardware components that we were brought together. We learned how to make a very easily deployable system over LAN, as well as we learned how to compile web apps, which are becoming more and more apparent in the industry, and compile those down into Electron apps without needing to change the stack of the web app. So, thank you. Now, following this, we would like to present an award to our sponsor.
Oh, sweet. You go, Dr. You go, Dr. Bone. Thank you.
Speech.
But-
But talk enough.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bone, for all that you've
Thank
done
you, yeah.
for this project. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.